Saturday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lead Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat
It looks
Donovan.
like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
Howdy, hey, howdy, ho, how the hell is everybody? Welcome back into another great edition of the Buccateers. We've been off for 6 days now as we had our weekend show last week as I was in Milwaukee out and about. And we also had a great interview with one of the newest Bucs UDFA rookie minicamp tryouts, CJ James, center out of UTSA from last week as well. Go be sure to check out that interview exclusive one-on-one with CJ at Buccateers on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Google, or so much more. But without further ado, we have a very, very fun topic to get to, a very special announcement on the horizon. We've been teasing it the past couple of podcasts, the past couple of weeks, the past couple of shows, to say the least. And we always like to keep things fresh, get new minds, great people, better friends into the picture to help us break down Bucs ball and to help grow the show a little bit. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. Yeah, again, obviously, the Buccateers consist of a good cast. We got Gene, who's on a sabbatical right now. Many of you know the great Gene from Buck What You Heard. We have some other awesome contributors like A-Cats and J-Lo, who are there through thick and through thin. They're always in the house. We got Joey for our Saturday shows. Joey Nips joins weekly on Saturdays. And then we got a couple of other fellas as well, Stunna and Bucko, who are more background characters at this point, but they still pop in from time to time as well. So it continues to grow. And to me, it's always a good thing to help grow. And we're going to do that right here with adding a new co-host. You guys have known him from past podcasts, obviously from Twitter X, whatever the hell you want to call it. Other great things as well. Just one of the better Bucs fans around, one of the better people in the world of Bucs Twitter, one of the better Bucs personalities, people to talk to, down-to-earth guys. He's joining the show, everybody. Official co-host of the Buccateers, the reigning, defending Man Cave champion of the world, Bucs by 30 himself, the great Zach Johnson. He's jumping aboard the Buccateers. We welcome our newest co-host with open arms. Zach, how the hell are you doing? Welcome to the program on a full-time basis, brother. Excited to have you.
Excited to be here, Tones. Thanks for having me. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to come aboard, and I look forward to all the content that we'll be putting out this season.
Yeah, maybe we'll get fancy as Rhino Media's joining us on Facebook. Christopher Cole, Donnie Pepin saying let's go Leafs. I don't know about that, but with Zach and his memorabilia specialties, Man Cave specialties, we plan to utilize both of those greatly, obviously, along with his Bucs and football knowledge. We're going to get into that. We, maybe we'll create some fun and do like memorabilia Mondays or Man Cave Mondays or some fun things down the road or whatever. But Zach, we're excited to have you. And no opinion is a bad opinion on our show. So, whether it's on air, behind the scenes, whenever you want to share something, don't be afraid to do it. We come up with fun segments here and there. We have some honorary ones. We got some betting ones. We got other ones. So, brother, we're an open book. Anything you want to do to help grow the show, we're all for it, my man. But excited to have you. Any thoughts, any openings on, just moving forward and breaking down Bucs ball with the boys?
Yeah, I look forward to it, man. There's nothing better than talking Bucs ball with Bucs fans, right? I live in Steelers country, so I got to listen to a lot of people complain about Mike Tomlin. So it'll be nice to talk to some fellas that want to talk Bucs ball. So I'm looking forward to it. anything I can do to help with the show, I'm excited for that, and willing to help out in any way I can. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we gave you, to be fair, we did give Zach a max contract, so we'll share the numbers at a later date. But it was a lot of money to bring the big man in. But no, in all honesty, just excited to help grow the show. J-Lo's tardy. I don't know where the hell he's at, but we're gonna have to get in line with him. Gene will be back on a regular basis soon. He's just having fun living life right now, doing his sabbatical. And God bless, when you've had a podcast as long as Buck What You Heard, you got to take a little break right here. But yeah, you guys could get with Zach on here on Twitter moving forward. Bucks by 30 will be a part of the program. Yep, just got J-Lo's text, so no worries. But we'll keep it noted in the back of the head. But Zach, welcome aboard. Awesome to have you. Like I said, open book here. Anything you could ever think of, we're going to discuss it and break it down. And yeah, being in Steelers country, I guess it is at least a blessing that, if your blood, Mr. Frazier, didn't go to the Bucks, at least he ended up in Pittsburgh for your sake. So there you go. Probably the second best spot. But you guys can see it now. Zach's background is impeccable. And Zach, I'd even be open to, I know you've done it on Twitter, on Facebook, and other things before. I know you've given some tours, quick videos, pictures of your cave as well. But I'd even be interested in eventually, maybe making some YouTube clips or short YouTube videos of your cave, and kind of maybe getting a trend going. Who knows? But what do you feel about that? Maybe doing a Zach Bucks by 30 Cribs edition of the Man Cave.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Anybody wants to see it and talk about it, I'm all about it. So I'll be glad to do that. We can do, don't act like you don't have stuff that you can share too, man.
Yeah, I got some, but I'm kidding. We could have a fun one. We could have a fun time and really get into it. But that's something I've wanted to do for a couple years, is kind of getting, like more memorabilia specialty specific, not on every show, but maybe, making a weekly or bi-weekly fun little topic where we dive in and help grow the hobby. So
absolutely.
Yeah, Zach, as much as me, it's one of those things where I feel like people, Christopher comments on the Cubs, I know it does suck. Pepin says he is a serious cave as well. Well, beautiful thing. I feel like a lot of newcomers into the hobby are kind of afraid to dive in, and they don't really, they think it's a harder hobby to get into than what it is. I mean, yeah, half the stuff you could get your hands on is kind of specific and special and under the radar, but there are a lot of jerseys or memorabilia items out there, Zach, that a couple might be pricey, but nowadays more than ever, to me, there's more access to a lot of items. I mean, Bucks bids kind of dampen the market. A lot of people don't know. I mean, you got to be reliable, but a lot of people look past eBay. But Zach, before we kind of move to Bucks talk, there's a big market availability out there for game worn items specifically that you might not be able to notice.
Yeah. Well, and people don't have to jump into the deep end. You can use the steps to get into the pool and wade slowly to the deep end. The nice thing about sports memorabilia is there's a lot of tiers to it, and whatever you want to collect, whether it's cards or mini helmets or retail jerseys, there's just so many different layers to it, and pictures, the canvases that we've talked about before. So, you don't have to jump into the deep end and second mortgage your house to represent your favorite team in a collectible hobby scenario.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Zach. A lot of people think you got to be nitpicky with the hobby. Oh, I got to do cards. I got to do mini helmet, this and that. It kind of grows and evolves into both. Like I, wouldn't call myself a mini helmet collector by any means, but honestly, since I've been collecting jerseys, my uptick in mini helmets just kind of happened, not on purpose, but you're at a football, you get a game used jersey of someone, you're at a football game, you want to get something signed quick. Next thing you know, you get a mini helmet to go with your jersey, and it's just kind of a convenient thing to collect more so. So yeah, I love the hobby, and as you said, it's not specific. You got cards, you got the canvases. Tyler says he needs to get his out of a bin and onto the wall. Cave looks sick. Zach, Tyler's another one.
Thanks,
I mean,
Tyler.
great collection, great cave. What say you?
Yeah, yeah. Tyler's a great Bucks collector. It's always nice talking to Tyler and seeing what he's got. Um, but yeah, do what you want, man. I like to, I got into the hobby with mini helmets. That's how I started. So, I call mini helmets the gateway collectible, right? Because they lead to much bigger, more dangerous things. So, collect what you like. Don't let anybody tell you what you should and shouldn't collect.
Yeah, and that's actually a funny comp right there. Gateway collectible. It is.
Mhm.
I feel like the two gateway collectibles are cards and mini helmets, and because,
Yeah.
well, at least back in the day, cards were a little cheaper. But nowadays, little different there. But yeah, if you guys are just joining, we're about 13 minutes into the program. Our new reigning, defending co-host, Bucks by 30 himself, Zach, and Tampa Tones here, taking you guys through a To Me Up Tuesday. Now, I know I confused Zach a little bit. You guys are probably confused a little bit as well. Hey, why on a Tuesday? Well, we had a shift to I'm going to the Cubs game again tomorrow, so couldn't do Wednesday tomorrow. So, I went to Milwaukee this weekend for the Cubs. Tomorrow I got a Cubs. I'm just a little bit into baseball right now, but we're going to shift back into football right here, and that's why we are here live. We call these Tune Me Up Tuesdays during the regular season to, kind of get your feet wet for the week. You recap last week a little bit and look forward to the next week a little bit. So that's what we're going to do, Zach. Next week, schedule release, 8 days away. We're going to have some fun here. Who do you want to see week 1 against the Bucks? What primetime time slots do you maybe want to see the most for the Bucks? What holiday games maybe would you like to see for the Bucks? But we are 8 days away from schedule release, Zach. Is this one of those, because there's so many damn moments and checkpoints in the NFL offseason that are exciting. Now, I mean, it blows every other sports offseason away. Who could make a schedule release into some big deal, right?
Right.
Baseball, basketball, hockey, college, their schedule releases come out and it's still cool. You look over it, you plan some games and but football comes out and it's like, you're circling weekends and, you got the Loose Cannons podcast. They make specific getaway events and weekends. And, people just make me and my pops, we make road trips happen. So people make big deal out of schedule release. Here we are, Zach, only 8 days away. Are you one of the NFL fans that do look forward to the schedule release every year? Now they make the fun YouTube or Twitter videos as well that you could watch. Are you a fan of schedule release day, or are you kind of just, it is what it is, and, whatever happens?
Yeah, no, I enjoy it. All the content they put out about the schedule, I'm definitely in it to see when the games are, so I can start planning. I like to get a couple of games in a year. Try to do one in Tampa and 1 or 2 on the road if it all works out. So yeah, it's definitely an exciting time. So you can start doing that prep.
Yeah, and well, I know you're a fan of the Loose Cannons trips as well, so hopefully we could get a couple of those together this year. I'd be interested in taking or viewing into one of those too. But man, the season just flies by too. That's a beautiful thing. That's why I like to soak in everything. And we're going to talk rookie mini camps here. We did not forget about those. Those are approaching, have started for some teams, approaching for the Bucks. So Zach, that's why I like to personally enjoy every little offseason metric. And people, man, I want football tomorrow. I do too. But this is when the Bucks won the Super Bowl. Remember that offseason, the build-up, how awesome everything was, or kind of freaky because nobody knew what the hell COVID was at the time. But,
Right.
You had Brady damn near getting arrested in a park trying to practice. You had Brady walking in Byron Leftwich house or the wrong house on accident.
Yeah.
Along the way, you had all these things occurring. LaShawn McCoy signed late in the offseason. Antonio Brown signed later in the regular. So you just kind of had these checkpoints along the way. And I'm not comparing this offseason to that one by any means, but I'm having fun here, man. You add some fun pieces like a Hassan Reddick. You get a new exciting offensive coordinator like a Josh Grizzard. To me, you absolutely kill it in the NFL draft. Zach, to me, as a fan, these are the moments you enjoy, the schedule releases, the rookie mini camps, because they're over in the blink of an eye. And yeah, I know you got the next building block to latch onto at that point, but the entirety of the journey is what makes it so special at day's end. And to me, that's what gets me so attached to this Bucs team. Yes, game days are great. They're special, but the little things, the little moves, the little stories, that's where these are all created in the offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. The draft stories, watching some of the second and third day guys get drafted and then their stories come out. The moves that the front office make, those are that's the real football experience for me. I mean, the regular season is nice to watch the games, but it just, like you said, man, there's games on almost 3-4 nights a week, so it goes so fast to where you almost can't appreciate the situation. Whereas in the off season, you got a little bit more chance to kind of savor what's going on, right? Because it comes out in smaller increments. So it's nice to have kind of like the yin and the yang of the season, where you got the much faster paced regular season and the slower, more enjoyable off season, as you can kind of build up to these things. The anticipation to the draft, man, that's you can't describe that to somebody that's not a football fan,
You really can't. And I think you bring up a couple great points there, Zach. First off, the draft. And I still love it as Buck 78 says, fire the damn cannons, go Bucks, go Bucks, go Bucks. Absolutely. But Zach, you hit the nail on the head with the draft, because a normal again, that might be one of those things like, yeah, you got the MLB draft if you're a baseball fan, but it's nothing you put on your calendar. Same with the NHL draft, NBA draft, maybe you look forward. But the NFL draft, for months and months and months, you're doing these crazy mocks, these ideas. Oh, the Bucks are going to trade back in round 2. Get this, you're literally coming up with these situations. Fans are excited. Teams are planning draft day parties. It's like a damn production backstage now. You got a guy making jerseys on site. You got to. I always wonder one thing too. Out of all the guys that get home, or they stay home, they get drafted, they always like pop on a random Bucks cap randomly. Mm-hmm. It's like, I wonder if they just have like mom or dad go to Lids and literally buy one team's hat from everyone, or what the hell the case might be. But NFL draft is literally a holiday. Schedule release is becoming one. And that's another great point you make. The games, the weeks fly by so fast when games are occurring, because especially you run a league, I run a league. We both play fantasy football. We like fantasy football. If you play fantasy football, it goes by that much quicker. You get Monday Night Football. The next thing you know, Tuesday's like, oh, let me see what roster changes need to be made for next week. Let me get my act in order. Wednesday, it's like, oh, waiver wires here all of a sudden. Oh, Thursday, let's see if I got my guy. Got to set my lineup for Brazil game on Friday now. Right. Saturday Night Football mixed in. So it's really like you don't even have time to breathe. And welcome officially to the Bloodline, sir. Wrestling reference there. So, Zach, I know you dabble in wrestling as well. We do talk that time to time. But, yes, Zach, it's almost like when the season's here, man, you really – and I know there's not always Friday games. I know there's not always Saturday games, but it's like between all the mixes and matches, you don't have time to catch your breath, which ain't a bad thing. But you'll realize now, being a part of the Buccateers as well, Zach, it's like, damn, right when you podcast about something in the season, 10 minutes later, it feels like it's old news because there's something new happening. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
Kind of just crazy there. J-Lo, do we have you? Earth to J-Lo. We're welcoming Zach to the Bloodline, my friend. Great to have you as always, J-Lo. And thoughts on welcoming in Zach before we turn our focus into schedule release?
Yes, sir. Welcome, Zach. Welcome to the team, brother. Like I said, lucky to have you. Looking forward to talk about football and all around sports with you, man.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, J-Lo's joining us live from no, I'm kidding. J-Lo's joining us live from the great state of Florida, the great city of Tampa in the 813. So always great to have you, J-Lo and Zach. Feel like this is going to be a good trio. Again, like I said, Cats is main time. Once baseball ends around October, Cats starts scaring up, and then once draft comes, Cats fades away, because he admits, no pun intended, he ain't a draft cat. Perfect example where, hey, maybe the draft ain't for everyone, but he's just kind of a huge Tampa sports guy, so he gets caught up in things. Hey, Loose Cannon's Leprechaun, we haven't seen you in our chat in years, and now you're coming in here and spewing all this. No, I'm kidding. Glad to have you here. Another great guy over there. Great guy, nice guy, Loose Cannon's Leprechaun. Hope you and your son and the family are all doing well, brother. It's truly been a while. So, we are working on more Bucs interviews. We had CJ James on last week. If you missed that, he'll be participating in rookie minicamp, and Jonas is participating in the Buccateers. But schedule release, guys, 8 days away, not including leaks. We know we're going to get leaks, but the thing with leaks, you don't know who the hell to trust, so you got to wait until those leaks are leaked by a good leaker, a trustable leaker. It's like, especially on Twitter or whatever you want to call it, it's insane out there. But Zach, we're going to start with you. I will read the Bucs opponents here quickly. And, so we know who are on the Bucs schedule. We know the options, the possibilities. As Jonas joins, Olivia joins, the great Olivia. We love our lady listeners. So welcome in, Olivia. Oh, our guy Nanan joining, saying hi all. I'm here more often than you think, lurking in the background.
Yeah, you definitely want to keep your head on a swivel then.
Oh man, love it. Does week 1 start at home or on the road? So that's a great point. We're going to go over our home and road opponents, and then based on who we predict, you'll see if we think it's a home or away. Wow, from Serbia. That is awesome. That is really cool stuff right there. Zach, that's what I love. J-Lo could attest to this. You get people from Europe, you get people from Asia, Canada, Mexico, the Caribbean. We've gotten people off of a cruise ship. We've gotten people. So, Zach, it's a fun time, my friend.
Absolutely.
Bucs fans are, around the globe. Loose Cannon's Leprechauns bet an away game. So, Zach, if his bet came true, that means we'd either start week 1 on the road at the Rams, at Seattle, at Miami, at Buffalo, at Detroit, at Houston, or then the 3 division opponents, right. New Orleans, Atlanta, or Carolina. If we're at home, that means we either start against Philly, San Fran, New England. Man, it seems like it was just a hyped 2021 New England Tampa game where Sherman had to come off the streets on Sunday Night Football, but time flies. Yeah. 4 years later, the Jets, Arizona, or one of the 3. So again, our away are the Rams, Seattle, Miami, Buffalo, Detroit, Houston. Our home are Philly, San Fran, New England, Jets, Arizona, and then we get Atlanta, New Orleans, and Carolina each. So Zach, if you are here, say you have a $20 bill in your hand, what team would you feel comfortable betting that $20 on to say, hey, this will be the Bucs week 1 opponent?
Oh, man.
We're going to get some music going. Let's have some fun here. Crank up the music a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I hope it's not L.A. or Seattle. Starting week 1 with a West Coast trip would not be ideal, I wouldn't think. I don't think it would be Philly. I think they'd try to save Philly for prime time.
I agree with that. Especially, Bucs and Philly have always had a long rivalry, and now that it seems like they keep playing, yearly at this point. So I think Bucs Philly will be saved for a primetime game myself. Jonas thinks it will be in Detroit.
Could be.
There's no easy question here.
I don't know. We don't typically start with a division opponent week 1. Arizona, maybe?
I was going to say, I think that's a great option. I think Arizona could be a good one. And, they're an intriguing team, Arizona. So that's why I think they'd be interesting, because they do bring intrigue to the table. They do bring, A lot of moves this offseason. They signed one of the better pass rushers, Sweat from the Eagles in free agency. They drafted the kid from Michigan, the corner who fell to round 2 because of injury. They drafted the big man defensive lineman in round 1 who fell a little bit. So I think Arizona, of course, I think Marvin Harrison takes the next step this year. I think Kyler Murray is incredible this year. So, Zach, that's a really fun game, an exciting game. And, Arizona coming to Tampa would be nice for the Bucs to get out of the way week 1 to me, because I think much like last year, when you rip a Band-Aid off week 1, I think you might as well do, because as the year goes on, Washington got a lot better last year.
Right.
I think I could see Arizona doing that this year. Zach, what say you?
Yeah, absolutely. Harrison really started to come on there towards the end of the season. So with a whole off season in front of him, you really want to kind of catch those guys unprepared. To your point, they added a good bit of defensive pieces as well. So it takes a while to get chemistry. So you definitely want to hit those guys early as opposed to letting them get it all figured out, making it more of a challenge.
And I think they're one of the teams that are the biggest, one of the biggest mystery. I could see them being 12-5. I could see them being a hard-fought 6-11. It's really just they were in almost every, and their division's in a weird spot too to me, right? Because you got San Fran, who's kind of meddling maybe after last year. I'm not really sure. Supply and Demand says he wants to say Washington, but he doesn't want to play them. Arizona, Marvin Harrison versus Buccaneers story. Hey, there you go too. That's a fun one. 2 wide receivers. So, Zach,
that'll definitely be a jersey swap right there.
Yeah, and I would love to be on either end of that jersey swap.
Right.
Man, but the only way to me that wouldn't be, well, I think they'd still swap jerseys, but maybe if Ibuka, because you know how they do that patch now, so maybe he wants to keep that patch or sell it. Who the hell knows what the hell's going on anymore? But haven't started off the season against the NFC South division rival since 2002, and I'm okay with that. I don't mind not starting off against a division rival. J-Lo, are you with Zach here? Do you think Arizona is a nice fit for week 1 against your Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2025?
I think it's very intriguing. I wouldn't mind that first game. But to be honest, man, I really think the NFL is going to recognize us, and they're going to give us a tough opponent first. So I say we go on the road against Buffalo. That, I think, would be a fun way to start week 1. Go ahead and play a tough team right away. And I think that would be something the NFL should put together. I think going to Buffalo, because I think they go back and forth. We're home the first game of the season 1 year, and the next year we're on the road, home road. So I think they might go on the road against Buffalo. That's my prediction. But I think Arizona would be a fun one, if that was the first game either way. So I'll be happy with either one.
J-Lo Supply and Demand to piggyback off you says he'd rather have Buffalo early than in the snow, which is a decent point. One thing to remember, which, again, there's no right, wrong, or indifference, but last year we thought Washington was an easier opponent week 1. They went on to have a hell of a year, and really it was a blessing you played them in week 1, right? So just remember, just because a team was good or bad last year, no, I think Buffalo will be good, don't get me wrong, but maybe you play them week 1 and they're not the same. Who the hell knows? But just because a team was bad last year doesn't mean it's going to be a great game this year, and vice versa. I'll go different because that's what we do here on the Buccateers, right? So I'm going to go with we have Zach saying home against Arizona, J-Lo going at Buffalo. I'm with Zach. I don't want to see at LA or at Seattle week 1. I think a change of, East Coast to West Coast would be not great. I'm going to go with a home game against or actually, yeah, let's stick with that. I'm going to go home against the Jets. They got Aaron Glenn in the house now. They got a new quarterback in New York. They're one of those teams who are going to try and find their footing a little bit They don't have a, quote unquote home run matchup for week 1. The Jets don't either. So to me, this could be a team the Bucs could get out of the way early a little bit. To me, you'd rather catch the Jets early while they're still getting things together, piecing things together. Catch Justin Fields while he's not in rhythm yet, potentially, if he ever gets to that point. Aaron Glenn's an intrigue as head coach, but Jets against the Bucs. I could see, and Hassan Reddick's storyline there too, right? Hassan Reddick had a terrible year with the Jets, although I don't blame Reddick for that. I blame the Jets more so. And then now he comes to Tampa. He might want that revenge on the Jets. So we got Zach, which I think I do agree with Zach in Arizona week 1. I like that thought. I like J-Lo's thought as well. Get Buffalo done with while the weather's nice out. And although we went there a couple of years back on a late October night, Thursday, and at least it was still holding its own. And then I say home against the Jets. Let's see. Jonas says, what question or main question for the night? What number does Emeka get? Zach, any guesses what Ibuka might be number-wise?
I put it out on Twitter. I think he should go with 12. I don't think Trask is going to give up the 2. 12 is, then they're all sequential between the main, the 5 main receivers. I know people are like, that number should be retired, but, I appreciate the Super Bowl that Brady brought. I think he goes in the Ring of Honor, but I don't think we retire 12 for 50 games that he played for us.
No, I don't think the Bucs do necessarily, and this is more outside the box. Do you ever think we're at a day where the NFL might retire the number 12 for Tom Brady?
Man, I don't know. I have to say, if the NBA hasn't retired 23, I'd find it hard to think that the NFL is going to retire 12.
That's a good answer. That's probably is cut. And I think, is Jackie Robinson still the only number that's completely retired? And I'll look into that in the 4 main sports. But off the top of my head, I want to say there might be one more out there, maybe in hockey or something. But I'll look into that and see. But I agree with you. I find it hard. And to me, a lot of great quarterbacks have worn 12s, right? So,
and a lot of non-great quarterbacks have worn 12.
Yeah, that's for damn sure too. One of those numbers that's a true coin flip. But J-Lo, it seems like we're getting positive feedback with Zach's idea, number 12. Loose Cannon's Leprechaun saying he says the same thing at number 12. Jonas is saying, yes, Marv Albert voice. He likes the idea of number 12. And our guy Nanad from Serbia says Trask can take 12 and Ibuka can take 2. I just, like Zach said, I don't know if Trask, he's been in the NFL so long at this point, and he was teammates with Tom Brady, right? So you don't know if Trask would view that as a respect type thing where,
Now, when a player wants to change their numbers, I know they have to make some sort of compensation for the jerseys that the team is going to lose sales on. I don't know if something like this comes up where some sort of a deal is worked out, what type of monetary situation there is. So I don't know how often a player would want to switch a number, knowing like Trask has got jerseys that are going to sell in the team store and on the website. So I don't know if he just is like, yeah, sure, take my 2 and let me get this 12. So that's other things that I don't think people, really think about.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Zach. You heard Godwin kind of think the reverse. He thought the same exact thing, but I remember when he re-signed with the Bucs, when Chris Godwin re-signed with the Bucs, he was on the drive with Tom Krasnicki. And he said, T-Crass said, would you go back to 12? And kind of to your point, Godwin said, hey, I'm not going to do that because people have spent hard-earned money on my 14 at this point. And I know he was 12 before, but, same concept as you, but instead of the player thinking that, he puts himself in the fan point of view. And Zach, you make a great case, though. And you've heard athletes not change your numbers for that reason. But yes, if you change your number, every single jersey that has been produced already that is on an official NFL merchandise website or shelf, so say Fanatics, say the Bucs team store, say Rally House, NFL Shop. I know it's the same umbrella as Fanatics, but any of those places where Trask jerseys are made already, or are on the production line, Kyle Trask would have to buy every single one of those jerseys in order to change his numbers. So, I don't really think it's worth it for a couple of reasons for Trask, for both respect jerseys and, other things. But yeah, Loose Cannon's Leprechaun saying, you're a jersey guy, Zach. Is he? Is he?
A little.
I couldn't tell. Whoa, we got 2 J-Lo. Wow. 2's better than 1. Oh yeah, well, I forgot. Shador. No, he's not universally retired. Oh, Shador is number 12 now too. Is he?
Yeah, I think he did take 12.
That's crazy, man. I don't know how that's gonna work out in Cleveland still. You draft Dylan Gabriel, you draft Shador Sanders, you sign Joe Flacco, you trade for Kenny Pickett. I know Deshaun's done, but you're still paying him money too.
Yeah, man. Cleveland is where quarterbacks go to die.
Careers, mainly QBs, but a lot of careers.
How many great college quarterbacks has the franchise of Cleveland just destroyed?
Man, remember Brandon Weeden, Deshaun Kaiser,
Tim Couch, man. Tim Couch.
Not Jimmy Clausen, but Brady Quinn. Yes. Tim Couch. Yes. Johnny Manziel, scream a bell,
Yeah. So many.
Then even ones that they didn't naturally maybe draft high, veterans have went there too and not have lasted too long, right? Like Deshaun Watson, man. I mean,
yeah,
that guy. Go ahead, Zach.
I was gonna say they almost got Baker. Almost,
Baker's another one. They tried to kill him. They said, like in Halloween, if he dies, he dies. But they weren't able to get to the Baker murder level just yet. J-Lo, what say you on what number? Oh, he keeps fading in and out. We'll see if we get him back. But if I were to choose for a Bucca, I mean, 12 would be the nicest number, but Jonas, you don't say a bad thought with number 80 as well. Number 80 isn't an awful thought either. J-Lo says he can't hear us, so we'll see if we get him. It's like, Jesus, playing not good today. Let's see. If I had a... Go ahead, Zach.
I was just going to say, if he takes 12 or 16, then that puts the wide receivers 1 through 5 in sequential order, which is nice for someone with OCD and a jersey addiction.
Yeah, and that's another great point. It's like barbershop quartet, right? You want all the jersey numbers in order. I would love 16. I think 16's a out of the box one. Buck 78 says 12 needs to be retired. Zach Jarvis says Baker for MVP this year. Yeah, I'm going to go with 16, Zach. I'll go opposite of you. I think 16. And you don't really see a lot of Bucks wear number 16, it feels like. But, that's right. I knew it was hockey. I mentioned it earlier. Pop says Gretzky number 99's retired in hockey. So
I was going to say, if there is one, it should be 99.
That's right. And I did guess hockey. So there we go. We were close. And then Pops texted in, not officially a team sport, but Formula One racing retired the number 17 after he passed away. The driver who represented 17 passed away. So it looks like you got Jackie Robinson, Wayne Gretzky, a Formula One driver. J-Lo, could you hear us, buddy? Earth to you? No, I don't know what the hell's going on there. But Tez needs to be 16.
Yeah.
What say you? Would you like Tez in 16, Zach?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. If Ibuka takes 12 and Tez takes 16, then we have 12 through 18 with Jarrett.
That
so,
is that.
I don't think we have a 19.
Not to cut you off, Zach, but Bill Russell, he's retired in the NBA, I guess, too, number 6.
Okay.
Like you kind of said, though, earlier, interesting, no discredit to Bill Russell, most champions ever, but interesting that he's retired and Michael Jordan isn't,
Well, when did Russell get retired? Because LeBron wore 6 for a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. That's why, maybe, let's see.
Was it after he passed?
Yeah, it had to be. The NBA retired it in. This action was taken following his death in 2022.
All right.
So
that
that
was
would
after
maybe
LeBron
make.
was in Miami. Yeah.
But yeah, LeBron was 6 for a good bit, so that's a good point. But yes, I could confirm that was after that.
Okay.
Some teams have retired numbers to honor their fans. That's kind of so. For instance, that's kind of crazy. The Seahawks don't let anyone wear number 12 for the 12th man.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of a cool one, a sad one, but a cool one. The Vegas Golden Knights don't let anyone wear number 58 in memory. Rest in peace to the 58 shooting victims that occurred just a couple years back. So those are more interesting ones, but kind of crazy to talk about. J-Lo is the third time the charm.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So J-Lo, we were kind of just having some fun talking about numbers retired all throughout sports. You got Bill Russell, Wayne Gretzky, Jackie Robinson, Formula One driver, and then some other fun stuff. But Ibuka, 80, says Jonas, 12, says Zach, 16, says Tampa Tones. J-Lo, do you have a thought for an Ibuka jersey number before we continue on here?
Well, I was going to mention Kyle Trask. He wore number 11 at Florida. I don't know if anybody has number 11. He could revert back to 11 where he played great at Florida to give Ibuka number 2, or not say give Ibuka number 11. So that'll be my prediction. If he couldn't get number 2, then I see number 11.
I don't disagree. Go ahead, Zach.
Sorry, Jones. I was just going to say, I think Pratt has 11.
Oh, that's right. You're right. My bad.
So they have to be like a three-way trade. It's real
Yeah,
convoluted.
no, you're right. I forgot about Michael Pratt. My fault.
Yeah, no. Well, he doesn't really dress, so it's easy to forget.
And I can confirm Pratt does have 11. Jonas says, "Yup, Bill Russell after he passed away." Richard, happy Taco Tuesday, Bucs fans just getting out of work. Hey, welcome. Join us, Richard, on To Me Up Taco Tuesday. But Zach makes a great point. Would be a three-way swap then, but hey, you never know. And my also point to that would be if Trask would have done that, I feel like, he could have done that at the beginning of last season before Pratt came. Trask decided to keep number 2, and he had the chance to, and he didn't. So, but J-Lo, what would say you think number 2 then? So J-Lo's going 2, Zach's going 12, I'm going 16. Some of the chat says 80 on our guy Emmanuel. Or Emeka Ibuka's new number, and it's going to be incredible. Those jerseys are going to look fresh. The creamsicles of Emeka, man, those things are going to be. Hey, lock up my credit card now because that might be one that I got to buy day one.
If we get a white creamsicle this year, man, that'd be something.
And his jerseys are. It seems like just based on this chat alone, Emeka Ibuka jerseys are going to fly. White creamsicle and the 50th year patch. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
That would be something dangerous. So week 1, we said Arizona, Jets, Buffalo possible opponents. Now from week 1 to primetime slot, Zach, what say you? If you had to choose multiple or what primetime slot do you like most for the Bucs, or which one would you like to see multiple Bucs games in this year? Would it be Monday Night Football with Buck and Aikman on ESPN? Would it be Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime with Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit? Or would it be Sunday Night Football on NBC with Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth?
Oh, man, I hate Thursday Night Football just for the quick turnaround. But I do like the production package that Amazon has for Thursday Night Football. That's a tough one, man. I think Monday nights, there's just something special about Monday Night Football. But long-suffering Bucs fans always know that there's something scary about that primetime game for us. It's always like, if we're going to shit the bed, it's going to be on primetime. So,
yeah, my brother always rubbing in that Colts Bucs games from decades ago, on, as you allude to, Monday night. And yeah, it seems like for whatever reason, we just can't get going. in prime time. I know some Bucks fans
Wasn't
still. Go ahead, Zach.
I was gonna say, wasn't it 2014 when we started off 3-0 with Fitzmagic, and then we played Pittsburgh? Wasn't that a primetime game?
Vance McDonald, their tight
Yeah.
ends, Chris Conti into oblivion. I still see Conti flying back.
I was there live at that game.
Man, all the games to put up that type of performance, it had to be the primetime game.
Zach, what say you on this comment? I know some Bucks fans still mad. I'm not mad about it because the more you look at our drafts or UDFA signings or free agency, yes, at first I was a little shocked, but I got used to it, and it made sense to me. What say you, Zach?
I loved the pick. I'm just going to put that out there. I love the pick. I was in Kansas City last year when Ryan Miller, Raheem Jarrett, and Sterling Shepard were our starting three. And if we would have had if we would have had McMillan, Godwin, or Evans, we win that game, hands down. I didn't want to see us in that position again. I knew they were going to go receiver at some point in time, and I would rather take potentially the best wide receiver at 19 than the third or fourth best defensive player that was potentially on their board, right? First round, in my opinion, you take the best player available. You don't draft for need per se, and sometimes when best player and need line up, it's a perfect storm, but drafting for need in the first round year after year will just get you into a situation like Cleveland is in. They draft for need every year in the first round, and they'll pass up on much better players that would be better for their franchise because they're drafting for need. So I love the pick, and I think the kid's going to be great.
I agree with that. I think he's going to be great. I think the Bucks could have used him greatly last year. And hey, Sterling Shepard is wide receiver 5. And sign me up, man. That's going to be scary. And don't forget, you have a lot of tight end depth that you could get fancy with too. No such bad thing as depth. And it even made sense as the Bucks draft went on, drafting 2 corners, drafting 2 defensive pieces, getting a returner. It totally made sense. So, J-Lo, we're going to double dip for you. A, what primetime slot do you hope the Bucks get the most of? Monday, Thursday, or Sunday? Or what one do you like the best? Zach's going with Monday. And, yeah, what say you on the Emeka pick? Are you still, what are your thoughts?
So, with the primetime game, I got to go with Zach Monday night. I think we play our best on Monday night more than Sunday night and Thursday night. So that's what I will hope for, maybe 2 Monday night games. And then as far as the Buka pick, I liked it. It was a good pick.
I agree with you. I'm going to go out of the box. I hope we don't, it depends if you win or lose. But to me, when you win on Thursday Night Football, it's the best primetime game to win only because then it's like, damn, I got a weekend of football ahead of me, and I could brag about the Bucks for like 4 days, and I could enjoy this football stress-free. But, man, when your team loses on Thursday Night Football, it's like, done, don't even care about Sunday, and then it feels so long away from a Bucks game. So, to me, Thursday night is the most, it's the highest risk, highest reward, in my opinion, of a primetime game, if that makes sense. But to me, if I were... I think I'd be in the same boat as Monday Night Football being if there was one game to appear most for the Bucks this year, I'd hope it's Monday because, A, by the time it's over, it's like, man, it starts off my work week good. It's already a Tuesday when that's all said and done. You're all excited on Monday, ready for your team to play. So, but if the team wins, to me, it makes Thursday the best because you get a whole weekend of excitement. So I'm going. Point. That's just what I always thought. Years past, we went on Thursday nights, and it's like makes Friday that much better, makes the weekend. But when you lose on a Thursday, it's like, damn, I was there last year when we lost to Atlanta on a Thursday, and man, I could just tell you that night I didn't want that Friday, Saturday. I was just and not into it at all, man. It's hard to bounce back.
There's nothing like Ray J at a night game when they hit those red lights. Man, that's crazy. The only thing that would make it better is if we had a song.
Yeah, and
that's going to be my social media campaign this year is to get Tampa to pick a song because I've been in Acrisure Stadium when they hit Renegade, man, and it is electric. And Tampa has got to get something like that to get the fans into it.
Hey, maybe we last year with G and we did a bear draft where we, all the listeners put bears in, and me, Gene, and J-Lo taste tested the bears and came up with an official one for the Bucks 2024 NFL season, and we'd always have a bear on the pod if they won or something. Maybe this year we'll do it reverse. Maybe we'll have people in the comments come up with a song, and we'll put brackets together with songs. And, maybe based on our 3 votes or whoever's live that day, majority wins, song moves on. And, hey, maybe we'll come up with our official song, at least to the Buccateers, Zach. I like where your head's at, brother.
Awesome.
See, that's what Zach brings to the table, man. I'll tell you what, this acoustic shit ain't going to cut it at Ray J that we're playing right now. That's for damn sure. But
yeah. The thing is like if you would hear Renegade anywhere else, it wouldn't do anything like that to you emotionally. But you hit it in that stadium, and I was there for a preseason game last year, the first preseason game, and that stadium was about half full, and they hit Renegade, and it was louder than I've ever been at Ray J in a situation like that. And I was like, man, this would be so awesome if we had something like this at Ray J.
Yeah, that atmosphere has to be incredible when Renegade goes down over there. I mean, I've been to some college stadiums that do, their music or intros, and it hits different. But to me, that is, NFL's getting a little better at that. But to me, some teams could catch on a little harder and, really get things going. I mean, people are there to be pumped up, right? And
right.
You play a song at the critical part of the game or start of the game, and I think it makes that much more of a difference. Speaking of difference, Zach, do you have a preference? If the Bucs were to play on a holiday this year, it seems like the NFL is trying to hijack Christmas from the NBA. So would you prefer the Bucs to play on Turkey Day, Thanksgiving, or on Santa's Day of Christmas if you had to choose?
Oh, man. I've got so many bad memories of the few Thanksgiving Day games that we've played. So I think I've got post-traumatic stress about that. So I'm going to have to say Christmas just for the fact that it's ruined so many Thanksgivings for me already.
Yeah, and they did give us that, although it was an ugly end of the year, an ugly game, but they did give us that Christmas gift a couple Christmases ago when they came back against Arizona on Christmas night. They fared a little better on Christmas than remember that Cowboys-Bucs Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah, I was with family, only Bucs fan at the table, so I had to hear everybody's criticism the entire game. So, yeah, I do remember it.
Lucky Lucy joining us. We love our lady listeners. I think Elstad scored her only touchdown that game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Sad stuff. J-Lo, are you agreeing with Zach and saying, hey, I want Santa to bring me a football game? Or are you saying, hey, I'd rather max out on some turkey and watch some Bucs ball?
I say Christmas. I think we had bad luck on Thanksgiving, so I agree with Zach. Let's go with Christmas on that one. Let's try to enjoy our Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, I'll say Christmas as well, only because Thanksgiving, I feel like there's already, there's so much food to consume, and you already got 3 football games going on. It's traditional. You don't really, those games already seem like theatrics. As Richard says, he was at Arizona. Whereas Christmas, it seems like you can maybe steal some of that tradition. The Bucs just played on Christmas a couple of years ago. They could play on Christmas this year. They could be one of those maybe Christmas kryptonite type teams for the NFL, and maybe give Chris Kringle a run for his money. Last schedule release question before we get to a couple other things here on the Buccateers, fellas. You guys are watching live on YouTube. Welcoming our new co-host, Bucs by 30, riding shotgun, Zach Johnson, our guy here. He's a Buccateer now, so awesome stuff. But please subscribe, please like, turn that notification bell on, all that fun stuff if you're joining on YouTube. If not, catch a replay on Apple, Spotify, so much more. Zach, if you could prefer one out-of-country game, Mexico, Brazil, Germany, London, where would you like to see the Bucs play? It could even be a former spot. There used to be Canada games as well, but if you could pick one fun international spot for the Bucs to play that are either real or formerly real, where would you pick?
Well, I like one that's on the schedule this year for a different team, Ireland. I think Ireland would be a really cool experience, or London. Either one of those would be really, really awesome.
Ireland would be. I could just imagine those fans getting all that drinking going on. The beer flowing, and I know college football tries to do one game a year in Ireland, and it just seems like it's a freaking great time. J-Lo, are you in the Ireland bandwagon? Are you in the London bandwagon, or are you going somewhere else?
Anywhere but London. We don't win over there, so I say Germany. Go back to Germany and win again. That was pretty awesome a couple seasons ago when they played in Germany. That was a great game to watch, and I would be all for Germany again.
I'm going to have an outside of the box thought here, and I'm going to go with, let me think. I'm going to say Canada for a couple fun reasons. I know it doesn't happen anymore, but I think it would be fun in Canada because it would bring football back to Canada. And, it hasn't happened. I think the last time the Bills did it was in 2013. I'll check. But the Bills used to do it every year for a couple of years, and then they did away with it. So I'll say Canada only because, hey, help grow the sport. Regular season I don't mind. But if you ever think of doing a Super Bowl overseas, Roger, we're going to have to talk. But they should do a game in China. I mean, that's a good one. That is a good one. So, hey, did you know they used to do Japan preseason?
Yeah.
Zach and I know as collectors, there's a couple Japan Bucs jerseys floating around, but there used to be preseason. We got a question for Zach. When you were at the draft party, did any member of the team store say if and when the 50th season patches would be available for fans, Zach?
No, they didn't say anything about the patches. The merchandise was out, and I did see some like magnets and keychains and other things, stickers, but I didn't see any patches, and I didn't hear any talk about when the patches would be available.
Yeah, and I feel like those are trickier on jerseys too, because usually no matter what, I know the non-stitched one, even the stitch might not come with. You'd probably have to buy the most higher end jersey if you want to pre-buy the patch. If not, you could buy the patch.
They did have the the limited. Is that the lowest with the screened on numbers? They did have those for sale with the screened on patch in the team store. And I didn't really look at the jersey, so I don't know if the other two levels had them or not. But they did have the limited with the.
Damn, that is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know they would do. Well, I guess it makes sense. I guess they did do it with the Super Bowl a couple of years back for the limited ones. I know it's a little different, but I do have a Leonard Fournette Super Bowl jersey with the patch there too. So, although the patch on the limited, it is like an actual patch on the Super Bowl one still. It's not a screen on patch. So that's kind of cool though, screened on. Christopher says Christmas because it's my birthday. So happy 6 month in advance early birthday, Chris. We hope the Bucs playing Christmas. That would be awesome. Yep, I remember Jets and Bucs. Yep, that's exactly right, Jonas. That's exactly right. The year after the Bucs won the Super Bowl. So before we get to rookie minicamp talk and our final words, our upcoming Buccateers schedule, our next time we're live is going to be Sunday at Sunday morning. We'll see what times. We're going to work on our schedule a little bit now that we're adding Zach. We're going to make sure. But Sunday morning, we'll try and be back. But that's a beautiful thing about having so many Buccateers is, no, if somebody can't make it, it's okay. We got people to go on. And that is one nice thing, Zach, as well, with Gene in the fold in the regular season, too. He's equipped to run it. So, say if I'm ever gone and stuff, Gene usually helps run it that day. So, we stay afloat here at the end of the day. But usually, right now, Wednesdays and Sundays, schedule permitting, like tonight, we're live because we have busy tomorrow. But we'll see. We'll see how the hell that goes. But we have a new fun segment called Football Hot Potato, where we come up with fun, real-life stories happening in the world of football, and you get 60 seconds or less to kind of just give us your thoughts on the segment as a whole. This one was an idea of Joey Nips, our weekend guy, our weekend co-host. So Yeah, let's try it out for the first time ever. We're going to do NFL hot potato here, 60 seconds or less to talk about a random football topic. I kind of just go online, get a random topic, and ask it. We've done this before, but not in this sort of time frame type thing. So without further ado, Zach's first show, why not break out the hot potato, the football hot potato for Zach's first show? J-Lo, we're going to start with you. 60 seconds or less. You're going to get the first topic here of football hot potato. Are you ready, J-Lo?
Really? I'm just kidding. Let's do it.
What, you want to skip?
Yeah, skip, bro. I was totally not ready to go first, so skip for me.
All right, we'll get back to you, my friend. I just start the timer, and we will come back to you. So we'll start with Zach here first on football hot potato. Zach, are you ready?
All right, let's do it.
So, Zach, let's cue the music here. You're going to get a fun one. So this is according to Front Office Sports. They do have the yellow Twitter check mark. So, you could buy a little more faith into them than the blue one. But Zach, a Colorado fan is suing the NFL for causing him, quote unquote, emotional distress and trauma after Shedeur Sanders fell to the 5th round in the NFL draft. This fan says he is seeking $100 million for the harm the NFL caused to his well-being, plus an apology and a more fair draft process. This is not a joke, guys. This is not a joke. Zach, what say you? Football hot potatoes, 60 seconds or less. A Colorado fan suing the NFL for emotional distress, my friend.
Wow. If we could sue the NFL for emotional distress, they owe us a ton of back pay as Bucs fans. So with that being said, if this guy pulls it off, I'm going to need to get a better attorney just so I can take part of this. Man, I don't know how you could hear all the things that came out during the draft and after the draft about Shedeur and still question his draft position. I think this is more of a product of the social media world that we live in. You start this story, you get your 15 minutes of fame, maybe you get some more followers on your socials, and now maybe you're monetized and you can just put ridiculousness out there every day and people click on it and you get paid and don't have to have a regular normal job. You are now the quote unquote influencer of all things ridiculous. So man.
Hey, that sums it up perfect. That's 60 seconds right there. I don't think Zach could have summed it up better, but ridiculous. Funny, but kind of sad that this type of stuff is even, able to be talked about. It's like Zach said, somebody wanting a damn minute in the limelight. Richard said is a fan named Mel Kiper Jr. Cleve and me says that person should be rejected and fined. I definitely agree. That Mel Kiper one
That's great.
It is great. J-Lo, now that you get the idea, and by the way, sorry I didn't make it clear, but I do have a stopwatch in the background, so it's not like you got a timer, so I'll cut it off at 60. J-Lo, you could have had that fun one, but now you get this. According to Underdog NFL, Steelers minority owner Thomas Tull, when asked about potential Aaron Rodgers signing, says this: I'm here to talk about AI, and that's a more complex issue than artificial intelligence. Whatever the hell that means. He's here to talk L&I versus AI, but, this joking mechanism the Steelers seemingly are doing with their front office about Aaron Rodgers. J-Lo, do you think this is a good move for the Steelers to continuously joke about bringing in Rodgers for their fan base and NFL hot potato? The floor is yours.
I just think it's so annoying that Rodgers has really pushed this far out on what's he going to do, come back and play, retire. As far as the Steelers go, it sucks right now if you're a fan. because you don't really know who's going to be your quarterback at this point. So for them to joke around, I guess they're that confident that he's going to sign and play football. But I just think that it's very selfish of Rodgers not make up his mind by now. Just either play for the Steelers or just retire, so that way the Steelers can figure out another door number 2 to fix their quarterback situation.
Well done, J-Lo. 36 seconds. I think both of those were fun. That's just a little fun thing we're going to try and do here on weekdays and weekends. NFL football hot potato. I'll call it football hot potato. So, sometimes Mason Rudolph. If they trust in Kyle Rudolph, that would even be worse, because that means they're bringing Kyle in out of retirement and converting him to quarterback. So that would be but we know what you mean, Richard. But yeah, who the hell knows? They have Will Howard and Mason Rudolph right now, as Zach gets a compliment on his shirt. Fellas, before we get to our final words and bounce out, my apologies. I know I'm keeping you guys overtime here on the Buccateers tonight, live on YouTube. Hit that like, subscribe button, and more. But fun football segment with football hot potatoes. Zach, we're going to turn to you here first. No bad. I like Kyle better anyways, so you're good. But rookie NFL mini camps are here, Zach, and these are where you've been having the last month, or ever since the draft, you've been hearing about invites, about potential signees, about stuff like that. So the Bucs mini camp is coming up. It's the 8th and 9th of this month, and the 10th, I believe, as well. But Zach, this is a chance where not only drafted guys, not only undrafted guys, but like our guy CJ James, center out of UTSA, these players get a chance to showcase their skills, their abilities to try and make the practice squad or the next level. So the Bucs is May 9th through 11th to be exact for rookie mini camp. Zach, what could you say about not only the Bucs, but maybe the NFL about these rookie mini camps in a whole? And do you have your eyes on anything as a Bucs fan and podcaster? What are you looking out for here as May 9th through 11 approaches?
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity for some of these guys to get a look. Just because you're not drafted doesn't mean you can't play. I mean, Tampa had a couple undrafted guys make contributions last year, so it's definitely where you go. They can see that you put the work in, and that you're a viable option for the team. So I think that's good. It's a great opportunity for those guys. And yeah, I'm looking out. I think everybody's excited about Watson this year to see what he can do. If he can make the team, man, who doesn't want to see Watson and Vita go up against the tush push on the goal line, right? So that's a good thing to look out for. I think there's going to be some good competition at safety. Everybody's going to be watching Shiloh to see what he does, but pay attention to JJ Russell. That kid can bring the wood. So he's got a shot to maybe crack the 53. And then just as a personal preference, we brought in West Virginia's quarterback, Garrett Green, but he's going to play receiver. Kid is electric in the open field. He runs a 4.5 40, and he's really good in space. So he could be a sleeper to maybe make the practice squad.
And I liked him a lot. I watched a lot of West Virginia over the years, and he's a cool name, an intriguing option. And at first I didn't realize he was switching to wide receiver, but it makes total sense as he's a menace on the ground. You could use him in fun packages. Maybe he figures he could grow his journey like that. Christopher says Steelers trade for Cousins. That would be an interesting idea, where if the Steelers did trade for Kirk Cousins. But Zach, as you mentioned, it's a very exciting and intriguing room full of UDFAs for the Bucs. And I did mention with CJ James last week, I'm like, I would love to see you and Desmond Watson just crash at it, go up to CJ's 6'4" plus 315 plus pounds. That would literally be a behemoth type battle right there. But between, as Richard says, Mike Tomlin's son got an invite. As Zach mentioned, you got Shiloh, you got Big Watson, you got former West Virginia quarterback, former Bowling Green quarterback. You got a lot of fun, exciting names in there. It's going to be an exciting time, and really 3 days isn't enough for these rookies to show what they got, and that's why it is so hard to make it in the NFL, right? Because you need the perfect time, all about timing, right place, right time. So it's going to be interesting to see who evolves over the May 9th or 11th period for these Bucs UDFAs and tryout players. J-Lo, what say you? Rookie minicamp approaching. What are your thoughts?
I mean, pretty much, as Zach was explaining, between Desmond Watson, who I'm rooting really hard for the big boy, I think he's got a great shot at making that roster, depending how he performs and drops more weight. Shiloh, hard hitter, not a great finishing tackler, so we'll see what our coaches can do to help him, maybe better his tackling game. And then J.J. Roberts, the other safety. I know Zach accidentally said J.J. Russell was J.J. Roberts. He's somebody I also am intrigued by.
Breaking news: J.J. Russell back. No, I'm just kidding.
But long story short, J.J. Roberts is a great addition as well. That'd be a great competition in the DB room. And also, there was another guy I was really looking at, but
is it one of the following? Mason Narcisse, DN out of Louisiana, Will Shepard, wide receiver, Colorado, Jake Majors, center from Texas, Ben Chukwuma, offensive tackle, Georgia State, Ben Scott, center from Nebraska, Anthony Landfair, tight end out of Memphis.
The Georgia State tackle, Tones. The Georgia State tackle.
Ben Chukwuma.
Yes, thank you. He was the highest paid undrafted free agent, at the league that got signed by the Bucs. He could be a guy that could develop and be a swing tackle. Maybe not this year, but maybe going into next season when you got Kevin Carberry, one of the top dog offensive line coaches in the league, can help develop a kid like that who only had 2 years of experience in playing football. So that to me is very intriguing. And if you watch his highlight tape against Marshall, he shut down Mike Green, who was a potential first rounder. So that to me is a pretty good sign that he can make it in this league. So I'm rooting for that kid as well.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of fun names to watch. I think it's going to be very, very good. Yeah, JJ Roberts. So shout out to him. He follows me on Twitter, so that's cool right there. JJ, my guy, I already like you more and more. But no, I'm just kidding. But awesome stuff there. Yeah, I think another good one. Ben Chukwuma, like we said, our guy CJ James, Jake Majors, offensive lineman. I know a lot of eyes are on him. So, and as Zach alluded to too, this is a team that utilizes the hell out of UDFAs. And you look at Todd Bowles and Jason Light over the past couple of years, whether it's been Brewer on the D-line, Funderburk, whether it's been Izzian, whether it's been Rakim Jarrett, Cam Johnson, a lot of these guys are undrafted free agents, maybe at one point in their time or maybe with the Bucs, but these are guys who have found ways over to this Bucs team and have really made at least depth piece impacts for the Bucs. Look at the year they won the Super Bowl. You had offensive lineman Nick Leverett. You had safety Javon Hagan, who actually had to play snaps against the Packers in that NFC Championship game. Undrafted guys are utilized. Not just, they're just, you got to take the draft round away. You can't look at where the guys came from. And I think the Bucs do a great job of that. So I'm excited to see what UDFAs or what camp trainees are going to come and make this team. Like I said, rooting for my guys, CJ James specifically. Maybe get Ryan Coe, on the practice squad, a kicker out of Kell. He had a long leg in college, and that's a kicker who a lot of teams might not poach, but maybe could be a good backup just in case our guy goes down. Obviously, we don't need one with Chase McLaughlin, but you never know about a practice squad kicker. Ladies and gentlemen, J-Lo, what's going on? Florida defensive back Dejon Johnson arrested on multiple charges. You hear that?
Yeah, I read about it. He got arrested on 4 counts. 1 count was possession of cannabis, and then 1 count of controlled substance, and I believe a firearm too. So he's in a lot of trouble. It wouldn't surprise me if Florida boots him out of the university, because that's just not a good look on you to be getting in trouble like that with 4 counts. So he'll probably most likely get probably kicked off the team. And it's too bad because he actually had a pretty productive season last year, stepping in when he could and made plays. So that's a big hit right now in the DB room at Florida.
Yeah, so you mean they're not like Georgia and they won't just not tolerate it?
I think they need to set a good example to the program and not let stuff like that get away. Even though he's a talented player, but at the same time, you got to be held accountable for your actions. And when you go to the University of Florida, they live by, proper and better choices. Trying to learn from their mistake years ago, back, the Aaron Hernandez case and all this other crap. So I just think it's just better just to cut ties with him. That's just a bad decision on him.
Yeah, I agree with you, my friend. I think that you got to wash your hands of him. Sometimes the entire UDFA O-line group will make the team. Well, they are looking for O-line. I mean, Hainsey gone, other backups gone as well. So will be interesting to see how that shakes out. Speaking of shakes out, I think it has been a great shakeout for our guy, Bucs by 30. Zach Johnson's first full-time go-around here on the Buccateers. Once again, if you're just catching the back end, Zach is now an official co-host. We've been hiding it, we've been hyping it, but slowly as the days go on, our intro video, our Twitter, our Instagram, YouTube, you'll start seeing Zach's name pop in with the rest of the guys, with Katz, Gene, J-Lo, Stunna, Bucko, myself as well. So amped and blessed to have Zach, good friend of mine, great friend of the shows, even a better Bucs fan. Obviously, if you're on Twitter, if you're into memorabilia, if you've listened to the Loose Cannons, you know who this man is. And really special to have him by our side. Zach, it's your first time as a full co-host giving your final word for the show. But without further ado, newest Buccateers co-host, Zach, Bucs by 30. What's your final word, brother? And once again, where can people keep up with you on the Twitter?
Thanks, man. Those intros are tough, man. I'm gonna have to talk to my wife so she can speak a little nicer to me. But I appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to get into this season and start ramping it up as we get through the fantasy season and into the regular season and start doing these recaps of games and warm-ups to games. Yeah, it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. Everything on my socials is at Bucs by 30, except the old person's one at Facebook, and that's my government name. So just look me up if you like to see pictures of other people's clothes. I got you.
Hey, I love it. We're already adding greatness. So, yeah, and tell your wife sorry for keeping you overtime. I'll send that check in the mail. J-Lo, thoughts on Zach joining the team full time? Give us your final word on a new Buccateers co-host, brother.
Always down to add new members of the Buccateers. Tone is just a great dude, bringing the right people that belong into the pod. Zach, looking, like I said before, when I've tried to get on the show, off and on, my apologies for all the interruptions, but it's a pleasure to have you, man. Like I said, I've been watching your stuff for a while, learning the Bucs memorabilia world. So, I mean, I don't collect too much, but I do got some stuff. So, but anyway, it's good to have you on, man. Looking forward to talk more Buccaneer football with you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and like we said, it's just the beginning here on a fun off season. We're gonna be creating a lot of fun stuff. I could already tell, maybe music brackets, maybe some other fun things along the way. Who the hell knows that this off season may bring on the Buccateers? But I'll tell you this: when you got this great of a group of Bucs fans, podcasters coming together, beautiful things happen. So I'm amped to have Zach, J-Lo, Joey Nips, Gene whenever he's back, A-Cats, Bucko, Stunna. The Buccateers keeps growing, and that's a beautiful thing. And my final word is, we're set, man. We got our crew for 2025. This is it. This is the Buccateers heading into the season and beyond. So unless I disappear one day, then that means, something went wrong or something. But other than that, we're here, we're fighting, we're breathing, and we're loving life and football. And fire the damn cannons. Jonas says goodnight, crew. To Jonas, to Olivia, to Lucky Lucy, Christopher Cole, Cleve and me, our guy Richard, Supply and Demand, Buck 78, everybody in between. Just a great chat tonight. the Facebook crowd as well. Ryan O'Hearn Media, the rest of the group on Facebook checking us out. The Godfather, James Rubright, tuning in. Just awesome stuff here tonight on the Buccateers. And I don't know if you've seen it. My final word's kind of a fun one. New Lilo and Stitch movie coming out. A lot of collector editions all over movie theaters out there. There's cups, there's buckets, there's all kinds of crazy stuff coming out. So for you collectors out there, you Stitch fans out there, check a theater near you. You might have a popcorn bucket with some airs growing on it. But on behalf of Zach, J-Lo, any last words, Zach, J-Lo?
Have a good night. Go Bucks, man. Take care, guys.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks, fire the damn cannons. We're out of here. Shout out West Coast Bucks fans indeed. We also had a Serbia member join us tonight, which is awesome. On the other side, fire the damn cannons. Tone, Zach, J-Lo. Thanks for joining. Peace. Until next time. Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lead Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE. Pat